We're on September 28th, Park and Recs meeting. We'll open the meeting with Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
All right, I'll jump right down to review the minutes for August 24th.
The move that we accept the minutes as written.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? So moved. We got any correspondence? Nothing. New business, pickleball.
So, I have a couple of examples here in your packet that show possibilities of putting in some pickleball courts to go with the tennis. We've had some issues in the past when it came to playing time, and there was a lot of, not clashing, but, you know, arguments, like one side thought they should have the court. And while doing this, they were in the process of trying to kick them off the court, and they were already there. So now it's just trying to figure out ways of fixing that situation. And, you know, if you look, there's an example of a, you could actually fit 4 pickleball courts on one court. You could add, and you could also, on the next page, you could do 2, you know, 1 on each side of the net of the tennis court. And my thoughts were, you know, you got 2 courts there, maybe 1 court, you got 2 pickleball courts, you know, so that way, you know, if there's pickleball players at the time, you also have still have your tennis court, you know, you're kind of sharing the court.
Do they like, will people play like pickleball at one time and tennis at the same time? Or do they not do that? Is that like a bad thing?
I haven't seen it, but I mean, there's no reason why they can't.
Right.
And you know, and the other thing too is like we have at some point we have new courts going in Quasic. You know, and this one here where I have a picture of 4 pickleball courts. You know, before we install the tennis courts over there, you know, this would be a good thing to go with it.
So we'd have to buy some temporary nets, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, which you see a lot of that around.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot. I mean, tennis courts were here first, and in a lot of towns with pickleball becoming so big, you see them bringing in the portable nets. You know, if we had a storage unit or something, to put these nets. I mean, it'd be kind of a big thing. I mean, pickleball's getting huge. You'll like down at the park, you'll see on Sunday mornings.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I come out my front door, you can hear the.
Yep. I get down the store.
Yeah. But it's big. I mean, when they get together, there's probably, I'd say maybe 20 to 30 people involved.
Yeah, there's a lot, I know.
I mean,
Judy Wicken that works for us on
Yeah.
Mondays, she
Yeah.
tells me all the people that's, big
Coney
numbers.
Cop is one that's really big on it. And, the owners from Builder Supply.
Yep.
So
So would you actually paint up one of those courts, like in a different color to line up the pickleball court, or how does that work?
if you go down there now, the lines I believe are darker. There's
Okay,
actually lines on the tennis court right now.
okay, all right, that's what I was curious about, I've been down to see, so.
This is in Rangeley, right? Sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Have any pickleball people, talked about like whether they like the 4 or 2, or if there's any preference?
They haven't, I mean, we haven't really gotten that far, but I have talked to them. you know, especially when they were kind of feuding a little bit.
Right.
You know, I went down and talked to them and, you know, and kind of explained where I was headed and what I wanted to offer, you know, and bring to you guys and the selectmen. They were really happy. I mean,
Mhm.
they know there's issues
Right,
and getting along is a big thing. They all want to get along.
right. So this is like, you're talking like planning like next year already, right?
Yeah, I mean, starting next spring, kind of, so we don't go through it again.
Right. I was wondering, hoping maybe if we, I did talk to maybe, you know, some of them to say if they could come to a meeting too, or talk, would that be the appropriate thing for them to come here and
Yeah,
talk to
I
us?
mean,
You know?
It'd be nice to get their point of view,
Right.
so it would help in the process.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I think if you put in two, they can still run as many people as they have been running at a time and leave one court for tennis. And if nobody's there, then you get 3
Right.
games going, right? So,
Right.
But a big thing to get is, you know, buying the purple nets, we don't have those yet.
right, yeah.
You know, basically what they're doing is they're using the tennis nets, it's just one court.
Right.
What's you have an idea what those portable nets cost?
I haven't gone that far yet, but
Just curious, yeah.
I mean, I could find that out for next meeting.
Yeah, might as well get all the information.
Yeah.
Alright. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, one way or the other, but like Jim says, if you get their input.
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll try to reach out to a couple of them, you know, like Judy and
Yeah.
whoever, you know, usuals.
Yeah.
And then see if maybe they can come to our next meeting,
Sure.
and talk about it, I'll let you know.
And if I see Connie and, you know,
Yeah.
or any of them, I'll definitely mention it.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
All right, Lincoln Library Loop, anything new?
No, actually, well, I emailed them today to see if there were any new updates, and just read that, this is Larry Johannesson from state of Maine. He said, as far as updates, nothing significant, kind of the same. One, any day he's expecting graphics from my consultant, and we'll get the kiosk graphics rolling. Two, we've got a good list of authors to plug in there for the signage. And he says he's still working on it, just, it'll be on the top of his list to finish this fall. So,
Oh, good.
all right, so. That's the only updates I have on that.
All right. And then I see we got some information for the dog park discussion that we've been having.
So this, you have a packet in your user's guide, is what it is. It's Merry Meeting Dog Park in Brunswick. I've been looking around and this really stuck out. I mean, their dog park is, you know, this is the user guide and it basically lays out their rules. You know, it sets you up to know more about dog behavior. It gives you helpful resources. I mean, it's a good starting point, you know, if you're thinking about, you know, having a dog park. I mean, it's got, if you look at it, like in the table of contents here, it tells you everything, you know, when good times gone wrong. I mean, they talk about stressing rules. Resource garden, I mean, it snarks and scuffles, I mean, dog behavior. I mean, getting to know before you walk into the park, you know, how do the other dogs react? And it's not just the dogs, you're talking the owners. You may see a dog fight, how are the owners reacting to it? Are they not paying attention? Are they? But this gives you a pretty good layout on how their operation works. And I'm still waiting to I've contacted them, but I'm still waiting to get together or talk with the director in Brunswick. We get some questions about, you know, maintenance fees, you know, what does it cost a year to run the dog park? Their park, it's all fenced in. A lot of parks have obstacles for the dogs, but it's just an open area. They got park benches around the edges for the owners to sit and work on. But maybe that's a way you start, you know, just having an open area fenced in for the dogs, and then we just start adding stuff year after year. And that was another question that when I get in contact with them, I want to ask, you know, is it better for you to not have the obstacles, or, you know, let's see what they're thinking on it was.
Sure. And is it, this just something off their website, I'm assuming, that
It
somebody
is,
can
yeah.
download? Yep.
I didn't put this in the pack, but I'm gonna let you take a peek at this. So every time you have visitors come to the park, it's basically a tip, you know, tips on behavior. What it does is basically downsizes this user guide into one quick, you know, for the new people that show up that have never been there before, you know.
So they just got one of those little
Yeah.
weatherproof things there. So
Yeah,
people
and
can grab them,
then
yeah.
that's basically, I mean, you read through it and it's a quick guide.
Yep.
So when you show up and to me, it's a brief, it describes briefly what you're gonna see in this guide in smaller, you know, context. And like I said, this really stuck out to me, you know, when I was looking into it. And once I talked to the director at New Brunswick, you know, I'll move on and check out other places. I'm hoping at some point having you know, go on a road trip and actually seeing these places.
My
And,
brother brings his dog there. I'll ask him what he thinks. Yeah.
you know, Lisa Symes.
Yep.
You know, the dog officer, the animal officer, is very interested too, and would love to, if I go on this, you know, trip to see a couple of places, she would really like to be a part of it.
All right.
So,
We'll have some more information in the next meeting.
Yeah.
Excellent. That's good. All right, so playground install update, getting close.
we are getting close. I actually just got the thumb drive today in the mail.
Nice.
It has the layouts and measurements for when we pour cement and stuff like that. So we're getting there. I'm waiting to get in contact with Eric, who is the project manager on this whole thing. So once he gets the parts, you know, we should be ready to go. Dig Safe, they came in yesterday, so we're all good there.
When is it scheduled to be? Is it,
It's
it's fall?
yeah,
Okay, it is fall, okay,
yeah. We're hoping that in the next 2 weeks
to get started.
to get started, so. But having the what came in the mail today was a big plus.
So excited.
I know, right?
It is,
It's been
you know.
5 years in the making.
That'll be cool.
Hey, we persevered.
We did. It was out, right? So comp plan directors, I see you got a copy of the comp plan back here.
There for you to work through.
Yes, if everybody just for their homework wants to look through the park section there and see if anything jumps out at you.
There was one thing that I would love to revisit, it was brought up the other day, was the lighting in the park
Yeah.
after hours. I talked to Jim the other day, and so a lot of parks around the state, they close like a half hour after sunset, and they open a half hour before sunrise.
Okay.
And like if you go down there now, at 10 o'clock, when it closes, it's pitch black. And there's not a whole lot of lighting in the park except on the sidewalk that goes down to the bathrooms.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're thinking about safety, you know, which goes back to a lot of the other parks, why they do a half hour after sunset or a half hour before sunrise for their opening and closing. And not having that lighting, if they're gonna be open till 10, I mean, who knows what's going on? You know, we don't have the security, you know, that we should with light, with the proper lighting. And I just, it was brought up the other day, so I figured I'd revisit it and see what you guys thought about that.
I guess I was under the assumption that the lights were on until
So,
we closed, yeah.
Right,
They are in the upper corner of the park. I mean,
well, the
there's a-
bathhouse.
Right.
Or like you're saying at 10 o'clock, the park's closed, so you're like, okay, it's 10, I'm gonna walk home now, there's no lights.
There's no lights, I
There's no
mean,
lights.
I
It's
think it
pitch
should
black,
be
it's pitch
7:30 then,
I
yeah.
mean, the only lighting you have is on Lake Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going into the parking area there and the chamber. So you have the point, you got the boat docks, the dock system there, you have all the picnic areas, pitch black.
Yeah, it's pitch black over
Yeah, and then you even got the swim docks, the swim dock that's pitch black. But there's nothing saying you can't go down there because closing is 10 o'clock.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying because of improper behavior, but, you know, safety wise.
No, definitely. If you're allowed to be down there, that's right.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be able to see what,
But a lot of parks have the same issue, they don't have the lighting, so I mean, I'm thinking they do their half hour after sunset for that reason.
I thought there was a pole over by the boat launch somewhere, no?
there. Never used to be, but it's, cause every once in a while I go by boat, I go to the boat, go to Sarge's.
But yeah, during the summer,
They get the iPhone.
Yep.
You know?
you know, towards the end of the summer, it's getting darker earlier and
Yeah.
people are using the dock system, and there's no lighting. So I mean,
Put one on the corner of the tennis courts, just kind of shining it back
Well,
down towards the road.
I think we were talking, nowadays you can get the solar lights,
Yeah,
you know, and it might be something to look into, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can, like you said, even it's really dark around the dock too, you can have some, there's little solar lights that are pretty reasonable now. that
Yeah.
You can put someplace down
Yeah.
there or something. So I guess it depends on whether or not you wanna shut the park at dusk or put some lighting, I guess that's the good question.
But if we weren't to put lighting in, I mean. I would, my thought was, you know, doing the half hour after sunset or hour, whatever, you know. But.
so
Definitely
changing it to after sunset, you're saying?
Yeah,
Not 10,
not 10 because of the lighting issues.
Because of the lighting issues.
But before we do that, I mean, obviously look into the lighting, you know, can we go solar lights or could we, I mean, coming into budget season, can we budget for maybe a couple of light poles, you know, solar, you know, the solar lights.
Can you just run up some prices on throwing up a couple poles? Well, it's not that easy, but you know
It's
what I mean?
something, yeah, I could look into it.
Putting in some lighting in a couple key locations versus throwing up however many solar lights to
Yeah.
eliminate at least the drive, the road down to the lower one.
Yeah. Cause yeah, cause even, you know, I don't know how many people use it in the winter, but. you know, Dark.
I think the dock system is a must, I mean. You know, when you get to the tail end of the summer, you're getting darker earlier and, but people are out on their boats.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Agree.
So,
Yeah, I'm interested to see the, yes, the prices on that stuff.
and then beyond that, I have one more update, which for the pavers over at the gazebo.
Yeah.
On High Street, Haley Pond. Seminary is planning on coming in and replacing the ones that are badly damaged. And then Wiles has all the records and redoing the gardens. Nick Ravens.
And who's paying for that? Just,
The chamber has a budget set aside.
they still have money for that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I believe what they had was 10,000 in the budget.
Oh, okay.
And, I can remember, I believe Seminaries told me the estimate came in at about 7 for that. And then whatever Wiles was gonna offer, for work. But this is a lot of damage, so I mean, it was something that needed to be done.
Just a lot of cracked stones?
Yeah, and the salt and weather.
Yeah.
They're just breaking apart. So,
Is that, what's that?
um,
Fall?
Marley basically said, she's trying to fit in time here and there to do it, so. Beyond that,
Good. That's it. And then I get an event permit here for trunk or treat. It's that time of year again. Park and Recs on October 31st, 3 to 6. Down at the park, and we've got any issues, fire, police departments all signed off, everything's good. I'll entertain a motion to approve the event permit for trunk or treat. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? All right. So nothing else from you, Pat?
that's what it is.
One other thing I wanted to bring up, we talked about a little bit was, I think we've all talked about it before, about the size of the dock system that's out there right now. And then I've had people come talk to me about, there's really only one slip to park a boat there, you don't want to put it at the end and block the end of the dock. Of course, the side you don't want to, people are gonna be coming in and out. So there's that first slip that's you're comfortable with. The second slip, as long as the water's high, you can
Yeah,
get your boat in there too.
always.
Right, but then after that, it's really, for a boat, it's like, kind of unusable really. Did you say you had another?
We did, and they ended at that is being used over at Haynes Landing right now.
Oh, okay.
So what happened was that one of the section closest to the shore
Yeah.
got taken out because of water level. I mean, it was just too shallow.
Yeah. So is there any way, is there anything in the budget for an extension at some point ever? Like,
We'd have to budget for it next cycle, but we're starting to approach the budget season, so I'd have to look and see, and then if not, we would probably budget for something like that.
Was that piece staying in Aquasic permanently then?
I would have to talk to Joe about that.
Curious
Yeah,
if we did bring it back, what else we'd need to be able to incorporate it,
right,
extend it out,
right,
right?
right. I just like to at least talk about that, I know people that, I think it would be
Yeah.
used if there was more space, even myself, knowing that there's only like one spot that I like to park. I'm like nervous about it, so I hope nobody's there,
there has been a lot of talk, about lack of spaces.
Yeah.
There's so many people on the lake that want to come and go have lunch, go to the shops.
Right,
I mean,
right, yeah. It's a fun thing to do, so I'd like us to look into just, moving that process forward.
Yep.
But I guess I'll ask him.
for sure.
All right, hearing nothing else, I guess I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Is that a motion?
Sure.
I'll second the motion. I'll second it.
Second by Jim, all in favor? All right, so moved. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Pat.
Sure.